Are on. Dun, 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 dun. Enchiladas. What? Where are the enchiladas? Huh? Hi everyone! So it looks like it's just the mic show today. I assume I'm live, but I'm not sure yet, so I need to go look. Jack will probably be in here a little bit, and Dave, I asked Dave to come sit by me, but he's pretty sick. So I didn't know if we wanted him in here because we don't want him to get all of you guys sick. So tell me, look at Dave here and tell me if you think he looks sick. Actually, I say tell me, but I'm not on yet. I started the show, but I can't see the show. Yes, we're on. Actually, I say tell me, but You're live! Hi Mike, you're on Facebook. Happy Friday! Thank you!
I need to have,
I just dropped the copy of our Dining on a Dime cookbook.
That's probably mine, actually.
Hi Debbie, Joanne, Tanya, Denise, Janine, Janice, Laura.
Do I look sick?
Does he look sick? I think he's faking it.
I look like crippling depression.
Hi Patricia in South Carolina. Well, so Dave, I guess he had an excuse for, was it Wednesday when you were doing the iPad or Monday? Wednesday. He had an excuse because he was getting sick, so he kind of lost his mind. I'm sure that's what it was.
No, it was. I feel like I'm dead right now.
Oh, here it is.
I'll just sit here for moral support, okay, guys?
Yeah, so Dave is going to sit here for moral support, but...
and food. Well, no, I haven't eaten anything for the past 2 days. But.
So I decided I was going to make what I wanted to make today. Because we've been making what the boys want to make for cookies. So we decided to make cheese enchiladas.
Wait, why is this called
Dining on a Dime?
Live with Bandana Grandma in Pennsylvania.
Oh, did not change the title? Oh, hey.
Oh, we're live with Bandana.
We teased you guys. We're not live with Bandana. Oops. That was from Tara's show earlier. Okay. Hi, Donna, Amy, Patty, Nan, Sue. Oh, hey. Hi, my love. Tarzan. Yay. Waiting for John's the play? Huh? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Titles are backwards from you and your wife's streams. Oh, they were backwards on Tara's because she was on the iPad today. Or if you're talking about the title, yeah, I'd already set up this show, so it said it was this show, and it was actually their live stream with Bandana Grandma. And Dave just noticed that when I changed it back, I didn't change the title back. So now we're good. All right, I'm thinking by now probably everybody's here. So go to bed, Dave. Yeah, Amy. He's been kind of in and out of bed all day. It was kind of a bummer to take him out of school on the first week. So...
No, it's the third.
Wait, it's the third week?
Yeah.
First month.
Time flies.
So I didn't, if you heard me say first week, it's because I have to admit, I love you, dear, that I'm kind of a little bit frazzled with Tarragon. And she's watching right now, so there you go. What a trooper, Dave. Yeah. Came in here with your love blankie and everything.
Oh, this isn't my love blankie. This is my, whenever I need a cough, my muffle.
Nan says you look handsome. Thank you, Melanie. I love this Monopoly apron, too. One of our friends in London, viewers and friends in London sent it to us, so.
I look like someone just drained all the blood with a syringe out of my face.
Yes.
That's how pale I am. Or, wait, no. Actually, it looks like someone put blood into my face.
All right.
I have no idea what's going on.
I am going to paste a link in here for the recipe we're doing, and then we're going to start.
So
So we're actually doing 2 recipes. We just kind of wanted to... Oh, Mom says she wishes she could give you hugs and make you feel better.
Yeah, okay, I'm out.
She said you know they help. Aw, Dave! You just splatted one of our very few copies of Dining on a Dime. Just kidding. Okay.
One of our very few
2,500 copies.
2,500 copies.
Okay, so today we're making cheese enchiladas on page 216. And I'm pretty much making it by the recipe, but this is a recipe I make pretty often, and I don't usually use the book when I do it, but it's the same recipe as in the book. I've just memorized it because I love enchiladas. So I'm going to make enchiladas. Unfortunately, Dave's not going to eat, but when I asked Jack about enchiladas, because I wasn't sure if he actually liked them, he said, Dad, are those things where there's a tortilla and another tortilla and cheese in there? And I was thinking, what? And finally I realized he was talking about quesadillas.
He loves
so
quesadillas.
I'm going to go ahead and make him a quesadilla. They're really easy. And we have a recipe for that in the book and on the website too. Actually, Dave, since you're here, would you paste in the links when I need them?
Dave's already hurting.
So, oh, I forgot though. You can't see what I'm doing down here on the counter, can you?
Oh. Yeah, let me.
Go ahead and tilt that down, please, my boy. Okay, so normally I would use this pan, which is, you know, a square pan that can hold quite a few for the family. But since I'm the only one that's probably going to eat these tonight, I decided to just put it in a bread pan instead. So, in order to make these, I just grabbed some cheese. So the instructions are a little more complicated in the book. Well, they're not really complicated, but I just like to just throw in each one and just roll it up and stick it in here.
Actually, Amy, I haven't eaten anything at all, so I'm not lacking in vitamins. Well, I mean, I'm not having too much junk food currently.
So I don't mix all the stuff ahead of time. I just take it and I put a little cheese on each one. Again, the recipe is...
Mom says yum.
I pasted the link to the recipe in, and it's also on page 216 in Dining on a Dime. This is, yes, this is the enchiladas.
Okay, I was confused.
You can put the book link in too.
Yeah,
it's also in Dining on a Dime cookbook on page 216. So I like the cheese kind, so I just put cheese and onions together. When I grew up in Texas, that was mostly how they made them. And then we just roll it up. I just roll one up, and I do like to try to get the freshest tortillas I can get so they don't crack. I'm kind of particular about that. And I just roll each one up, and then I hold it. I put it kind of the open side down, but I hold it in place until I can get enough of them in there to where they stand up on their own. So I'm gonna throw a few more here. I'll probably get 4 in this direction, and then I'll probably put a couple the other direction and just kind of squeeze them in.
Are comments lacking on Facebook or something?
If you don't see comments on Facebook, X that out and then refresh the page and then go back in. Usually they come back. I particularly like them with the onions, but if you don't, you can leave them out. And this recipe is really easy to add things to, so...
Whoa, we missed a lot of comments.
You can add, like, black olives, or...
Oh, you might spray the pan with Pam first, is what Nan said.
Actually, I don't usually, Nan. And they usually turn out all right, so... Although, I don't maybe you should grab it anyway, Dave, just in case. The one time I don't.
Hmm? Oh. Great.
But we'll put a lot of times... Just grab the Pam. I'll put some in anyway. I forgot. Sometimes they don't. Here, spray a little under my hand there.
Yeah.
Is that the butter? Oh no. Here.
If it was the butter,
on the other side as well.
Delicious.
I never usually put Pam in here, but Jill suggested that, and they do sometimes. It's hard to, when they're covered in sauce, it's hard to tell where they all are individually, which I think is why the restaurants cook them on the plate. Oh, actually, Fiona, the camera's lower just because as I'm putting this in here,
we want you to see what he's doing.
If you see my face, then unfortunately our camera's not wide enough to also see what I'm doing here on the counter. So we'll turn it back up to my face here in a few minutes. But this is just while we're prepping this. Anyway, so we'll sometimes throw leftover chicken in these. You can put hamburger, although I never really have. We have sometimes put beans, but I always think of beans more as burritos. And I actually have in the past put black olives on, which are really good. But most often I just have the cheese and the onions in these. So I'm gonna put these all in there, and then I'm gonna be lazy. Tara has the enchilada sauce recipe in the book. When do I follow instructions? Actually, I was following them on some of the other recipes, but this Friday, so I'm going to be laid back. So we have an enchilada sauce recipe also on page 216 in Dining on a Dime, and David is going to paste the link in there for that. There's a link. It's actually also on the same page as the enchiladas.
Dime or what?
in Dining on a Dime. However, I'm lazy today and it's Friday and it's been really hectic and crazy with the boys and without Tara here. So I bought some old El Paso sauce, which actually is really, really good too. I mean, it's more expensive than the homemade one, but it'll do the trick. So since I'm feeling overwhelmed and being a little lazy, this is cheaper than eating out.
The cough drops, are they under the cheese?
So I'm pouring this all over it all. Yeah. Whoa, yum. That's probably more than I needed to put on there, but Tara's away, so I do what I want.
I think something's wrong with this. It's not loading comments at all. I refreshed it.
You might try it again. Or switch it, and also, are you monitoring YouTube as well?
What?
So I also put a few onions on top, just because I like to. And I am going to put a little more cheese on the top as well. And I chopped these onions ahead of time just so it didn't take too long on the show. And at the end, I'm going to put some cilantro on. And the cilantro here. And then I have some pico de gallo here that I'm going to put on as well. But that's mostly for garnish. And I won't put it on till later so it doesn't overcook the vegetable part.
So it looks like we're having an issue with the comments. Because it seems like there are not very many people commenting right now, but whenever I refresh, it shows a bunch of comments. And Nan's having
that happens to me all the time. Okay.
Okay.
Now at this point, this is all prepped, and I'm just going to put foil on it, and then you can turn the camera up, Dave.
Okay.
And Dave's going to turn the camera back up so you can see my face. A little higher. A little higher. There you go. So at this point I cover it in foil so that it doesn't burn on the top, and we put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, which is why I wanted to get it in there quick so the show's not over before it's done. And that is the enchiladas. Oh, and I didn't put any of the garlic in. Oops. Well, maybe I will. So I already pre-cut the ends off the garlic, but I'm just going to smash it and maybe take that out and put a little of this in. I've never actually made it with the garlic, but the recipe has the garlic on it. So I thought, since we love experimenting and taking risks on this show, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Except, again, who was it that said I never follow instructions? I'm going to put in, it calls for 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to put in 3. Because I'm super garlicky. I love garlic. All right, I'm just going to put it on the top instead of inside, which is fine, I'm sure. This is a recipe you can kind of wing it some, and it's really not going to hurt to add a little more or a little less of certain things. It's mostly the sauce. If you don't make the sauce right, then it'll taste weird. But since I'm using canned sauce today, that should be easy. All right, so that's it for the enchiladas. Maybe before I make the...
You want me to post in the link for the...
Maybe before I make the quesadilla, I will just see if anyone's asking any questions. Let me know, Dave, on that. Also, before I make the quesadilla, I was going to try to get some fruit in the boys, although Dave's not eating anything tonight. So I got some oranges and some bananas and what else did I get?
Yeah, everyone's having issues with the comments on Facebook. If you guys want to comment,
maybe you could go to the YouTube side.
You could try going to the YouTube side.
If everyone's having trouble, I'm sorry. We have had trouble with this before where I have trouble and other people don't.
Thank you, Kathleen.
So if you're having trouble commenting on the Facebook side, you might try going to the YouTube side because it looks like there aren't any problems over there. Sorry, that must be a Facebook thing because everyone seems to be saying it's a problem. What was I going to do? Oh, yeah. So I thought maybe I'd make a little fruit salad because I actually found things that Jack will eat. And he loves bananas, he loves oranges, and he loves green grapes, which I just pulled out of the thing here after I rinsed them off. And he doesn't, I had him try it just before the show, but he's not very fond of coconut. And I usually put coconut in there too.
I think, is that
Where do you
meme
put the coconut?
I think it's meme long. I don't know.
I think so.
Jack is currently playing on the computer right now. Where did you?
I bet Jack took it after he tasted it. Maybe it's on the table over there. You would check that out for me. I'd appreciate it. So Jack, I had him try coconut, and I think he would probably like it, but he was kind of suspiciously tasting it and saying he didn't really like it. So I decided just to make 2 different bowls of fruit salad, one for me and one for him. Dave is feeling sick, and he hasn't eaten anything all day, so it's not stomach sick. It's just that whatever he has, I think sounds like he has the flu, the respiratory flu. So I decided to just go ahead and make this for Jack and me. Ooh, that's cool. All right. Freestyle Friday. Yes, it is. Make it simple. That's totally what I was thinking. And that's the thing I thought with the fruit salad. You can put the fruit in there and...
He claims that you put it somewhere.
All right. Well, I might not. If we don't find it, I won't put it in.
Oh, it's under the cookbook.
It is? Oh, there it is. With the fruit salad, it doesn't need to be cooked or anything, and it's super, super easy. So,
Want me to go look at the fruit salad? Want me to look at the fruit salad?
Look at it?
Yeah.
You mean to see if there's a link for it?
So they can see.
Oh, yeah, please do. I totally forgot.
Head's getting cut off again.
So, sorry about my head getting cut off, but
Team time.
I'm just putting these things in here, and I was going to then mix them up just a little so that...
You could always see Dave's awesome face.
You know, I probably could have made these like with a can of mandarins or something, but these are super fresh, and they look too good to not get
Well,
them.
it looks like it's Lane's 12th birthday today.
Ooh, yay!
I can't sing happy birthday.
Make a note there.
Okay, hold on.
And we can sing in just a minute. You're not going to sing? Oh, because you're all...
Well,
croupy.
my voice will... You want me to...
Wow, that's a lot of oranges. I probably don't need to put any more in there, but I'm going to put just a little more anyway, because my theory is if a little is good, a lot is better. Which is why I dumped all that sauce all over the enchiladas.
Amy T, I've already drinking three 2-liter bottles of Sprite in the last 2 days, so I think that's enough. No.
Did she say Sprite?
Yeah,
Oh, lots
she
of
said
fluids.
drink lots of fluids.
Yeah, I think the Sprite is getting him to keep drinking the fluids. You know what? I think these are going to be the most ginormous fruit salads for Jack.
Whoa.
Maybe I should put more in mine.
Oh, fruit salads are really nice. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Oh, is this where you like chop up the banana and then put like all the little slices in there?
I was going to do that. So,
Chicken soup for Dave, Tracy says. Yeah,
chicken soup for Dave? Yeah.
I'm basically drinking colostrum now, so.
Yeah, you know, when Ellie and I went to Ireland and the UK in April, Tara found this colostrum, which is like the first milk from cows, but they make it into a supplement, and in theory, you know, for babies, it's supposed to give immunity when they're first born. So we tried it out to see, and it seemed like, well, I was getting slightly sick before we left, and it seemed like it knocked it out. Either that or it was just a weak sickness. But since then, on the sicknesses that we know that there's nothing particular we can normally do about it, we try that just to see.
Mary Tara is on a road trip right now.
Here, Dave, let me see us.
Right? Isn't she?
Yes, Tara is on a road trip. They were kind of driving across 14 states, but they went out to Tennessee, and they went out to New Jersey and New York, and today they're in Pennsylvania, and they'll be in Wisconsin, I think, for a day or so before they come back. So, yeah, they're having a good time. So, this is the fruit salad-ish. It's not super fancy, but it's delicious. And I think on mine, which I overdid mine because I just wasn't paying attention. But something else. Dave had to run off camera and cough. For mine, I like to put a little bit of coconut on. I say a little bit, but I guess that's the whole more is better theory. So that's the fruit salad that I made for that. So I made Jack's first because I wanted him to have it with his quesadilla so that he would actually eat it. So anyway, okay, now we're gonna work on quesadillas. Let me just clear off my workspace here. Actually, I'm only probably gonna make one since Dave's not gonna eat it, and I've got enchiladas in the oven. Ooh, I forgot to put the timer on.
Oh my goodness, the cat. He wants in again.
Okay. I'm just gonna clear off a few items here that we're not using anymore. Any questions or comments, Dave?
Well, comments are not moving on YouTube, so I mean Facebook, so I have no
that's
idea.
why. Yeah, normally we have a bunch more. Oh, and you might get the links ready too.
Did you make your own pico? Cat lover wants to know.
I did not. We often do, but oh, here I forgot. We can go ahead and turn the camera back up. I did not make it, and I often do, but today I was just thinking, this is too wild with everything that we've had. So I think there was one day where we made everything from scratch that day, and it just was a disaster. So I kind of pre-prepped some things, and I bought the pico already. So I was cheating a little. So anyway, so we've been making the cheese enchiladas on page 216 of Dining on a Dime. And the enchilada sauce is on there too. Even though I used the can, this is really good, and it's pretty easy to make, so. All right. For Jack now, oh, any other?
Judy Clark, try going on to YouTube if, here, I'll put the link.
What does Judy say?
Her screen is freezing and the comments are running on.
I think I saw Mary on there saying I'm originally from New Jersey. It's funny, we used to not have any.
Oh no, wait, what? Oh yeah.
We used to not have any New Jersey connection, and then my sister married somebody from New Jersey, and now we later have adopted my niece, and then we've kind of really become closer with the family in New Jersey, and I think Tawra and Elly were really glad to be able to go see them out there, so it was awesome.
Connie, I do not want the ladies to come back home. We're good enough as it is, just playing video games every night.
Yeah.
Especially since Dad doesn't have his wife to watch movies with him. So he could just play all night instead of watching movies.
Yeah, usually when Tara's home, Tawra and I reserve the last 30 minutes to an hour of the day to just lay in bed and watch like 30 minutes or an hour of some sort of show. And it's pretty relaxing to end the day that way and kind of rev your brain down before bed.
Sharon is from New Jersey.
All right. I still haven't been there, but Tawra and Elly said it was pretty awesome. It's funny because you watch the movies and TV shows, and all they ever show is the industrial part that's right across from New York. But now that I know more about it, I'm really surprised it's amazingly beautiful. And I always wondered because the license plates say the Garden State, and before I ever went out there, before I had actually really connected a lot with the family out there, I thought that's the way it was, and I was surprised at the Garden State. But now I know why. There's some amazingly beautiful things there. So for the quesadillas, they're on page 217 in Dining on a Dime. Although I've just done them enough where it's really easy. The recipe calls for green chilies and salsa as optional, and then cheese, and then tortillas and margarine.
What is that?
That's the fruit salad. All your favorite fruits?
It's dead.
Do you want a fork or a spoon? Or you want to just take it out of there? Even though you said they lost their home. Oh, I'm sorry you lost your home. I'm glad you saved the cookbook. But I'm really sorry about that. I know it's been pretty tough for everyone down in Houston and along the Gulf Coast. I remember there was a hurricane years and years ago that was really huge, but I think this one's a lot bigger, it seems like. So, well, I'm glad that you saved the book. So, hopefully your house will be covered. So, the quesadilla recipe, you can put green chilies in it and salsa, and often Tawra and I do. We'll usually just use the can of diced green chilies because it's pretty much the same price as cutting our own.
Hey Jack, you come here and moderate comments while I take a nap.
But since I'm making it for Jack, he just likes it with cheese. So you just kind of spread it with margarine, kind of like you would a cheese sandwich. I think the reason that it says margarine in the cookbook is butter scorches really easily. But if you don't like margarine, you could probably put like olive oil in the pan. That would be fine. So you take one, put the margarine or whatever on it, and then put that face down. This isn't hot, so I'm going to set it over here.
Don't worry, this is
oranges are really sour.
And then you don't have to use, it says Jack cheese, but you could really use anything. We like cheddar Jack, or there's a Mexican blend that has like 3 or 4. So
how hilarious is that?
I'm probably putting more on this than Mom does.
Don't worry, if I
be
cut
really
into this
cheesy.
blanket, it's not an issue, because...
So then I just put the cheese in the middle, and then the other tortilla is going to go on top, but I'm going to put a little butter on the top side as well. And then we'll just kind of grill it like a cheese sandwich. You can put it in, like, I forgot what those things are called. Those griller things where you pull the top down and it makes the lines on it so it looks like it was grilled on a grill. I've seen people do that too, and that's pretty cool. But since it's been a long week and it's Friday, Jack was really excited when I told him we might make this. So I figure that'll make it so much easier. So, just like with a cheese sandwich, cook it, probably start it around medium-high, and then if it seems like it's gonna burn or something, then I'll turn it down a little.
You chose really sour oranges.
Let me see. That's a perfect orange, Jack. It's not sour.
It's sour to me.
I'm wondering if there's a slightly different kind of orange that you usually use. Maybe we'll try that one next time. Oh, hey, looks like we've got some. Looks like some of the comments are coming through now.
I can sleep now.
If your comments have been, yeah, The Flash is your bedtime story, Jonathan. That is awesome. Ellie loves that show, and I've only seen a couple episodes, but I like it too. Yeah. Let's see. If you're still freezing on Facebook, a couple people have said that it appears that the Facebook comments might be working again. So you might refresh and see if it comes back. I'm going to try that myself just to see. Well, okay.
Tell me when that's
Denise
ready.
says, hi, Jack.
Hi. Can you tell me when that's ready so I can...
Yes. Oh, that's right. I'll need to get the spatula so we can turn it when it's ready. Oh, hey, you've eaten all your fruit salad, Jack. Here's Dad calling me.
Almost all of it.
So some people are asking where Tara is. So if you aren't aware, Tara, we've been talking about looking for a house for quite a while on the internet or on the show, and So Amy, is the house completely destroyed? Does it have to be torn down, and is there insurance on that? I was just curious because I know floods are kind of tricky sometimes, and especially with mold and all that in Houston.
I'm gonna leave now. Goodbye.
Okay, Dave's
If you
leaving.
need someone to moderate comments, get Jack.
If you support Dave, you can send #love for Dave.
Maybe like 5 super chats.
Dad.
Come on.
Do kiwis grow from trees?
Yes, kiwis grow from trees.
Because the school has a kiwi tree.
It does?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Is it actually producing kiwi?
yeah.
Oh, thank you, Diana.
$20
Diana.
super chat.
Diana
Wait.
put it. Dave was like, wait, he's got to see it.
What?
So Diana gave a $20
wow.
super chat and it says, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Keep up the great work. Yum on enchiladas and fruit. Yay. Yeah, Ruth says maybe Jack prefers Tangelos. I think Tara often gets cuties. And these are Texas navel oranges. So.
Yeah, they're usually cuties, so they're like half that size.
Yeah, so Noah's Ark, the enchiladas they actually bake for 40 minutes. That's why I was kind of trying to hurry up and get them done at the beginning. And so that's, it's got about 28 minutes left. And it should be done, if I stay on for the whole time, it should be done before the show's over. Although I am hearing some sizzling coming from Jack's quesadilla here. So, oh yum, that smells so delicious.
We just got 4 more super chats.
No.
What? A $100 donation for a super chat?
Dave, no.
You know, maybe I should
Dirk
make
Swenson.
What?
Dirk Swenson gave us a
whatever.
$100 super chat.
So, on the quesadillas, I just put cheese in there, but the recipe does say you can put these green chilies in, and we'll often do that. Tara and I sometimes will put a little bit of like leftover roast in there. Oh, to die for. Leftover roast with green chilies. You can put garlic and onions if you want in there, along with the cheese. I'm just making the basic one because Jack hasn't learned to appreciate all those amazing things yet. So, and Tara and I will also, I made it for Jack.
These grapes are massive.
They are massive grapes. Usually we make quesadillas on flour tortillas, but since Tara's gluten-free, and sometimes I wonder if I should be, but we will make ours with corn tortillas, and actually the taste of the corn tortillas is better. Yes.
So, at school, my pencil was under my desk, so I grabbed it, and it scraped my knee, and so I told the teacher, and she was like, "Do we need to have words with your pencil?" And I'm like, "Pencils can't talk."
Jack has a really amazing teacher. I think we're really blessed to have her as a teacher this year. So, Jane's asking, aren't cuties tangerines? I think so. I can never remember. There's some sort of orange-like fruit, but I can't remember if it's tangerines or...
There's some kind of tangerine-y thing that's like...
I know they're not mandarins, but I'm not sure. So I think it's just the taste is a little different than what he's expecting. Yeah, Jamie, he is a hungry boy. Hey, Jack, can you bring a paper plate over here and I'll give you your...
Sorry, these grapes are to die for.
Yeah, actually I should get Tangelos and see if Jack likes those. Because he loves things that are similar to oranges.
First food in 2 days. Does
that look cooked enough for you, Jack? Or do you want it more brown?
That's cooked enough.
Okay. So where's the pizza cutter?
Pizza cutter.
So this is what it looks like just right off there. And if it had, Tara and I will sometimes put roast or beans or the green chilies in it so it'll be thicker. And sometimes we have to cook it a little longer because if it's really juicy, especially with like beans. And as a little tip that a lot of you know about and maybe not all of you know about is pizza cutters are awesome for cutting things like pancakes, quesadillas, and pizza. But so much easier than trying to cut these with a knife and less messy. Jack, do you want to do it? Hold on, let me see if anybody can. Let me see before you do it. Let me tilt this down so they can see you cut it. The other thing about this is that the pizza cutter is really great for kids because it's easier for them to handle the pizza cutter than it is to handle a regular knife. You might have to roll it back and forth 2 or 3 times because I don't know if that's going all the way through. You need to push harder? Do you want salsa or anything on it?
No.
Okay. Tara and I will usually put a little Taco Bell sauce or some pecani sauce or something like the pico on it. That would be really yummy. All right.
Hey.
So I only made one quesadilla, the plain one, because Jack is the only one that's going to probably eat that right now. So let's see. Wait to get over here. So right now, we have about 24 minutes left on baking the enchiladas. So, you love those?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm gonna be unavailable till like the end of the show, so goodbye. Until the end of the show, maybe. I should be on, hopefully.
Yeah, well, and tell Diana, thank you again.
Thank you again for the super chat. Yeah, that's 20 bucks. That's a lot.
Thanks very much.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, you can go take a shower.
Okay. I feel like...
All right, so I'm going to look here at the comments and see what everybody wants to know. Is Tara still on? Are you still here, dear? Jamie's making a soap that smells like soil? Did not hear that. Is that what you said, Jamie? Cat Lover says, when I make my own pico, I make one hot and one not. Yeah. I know a lot of places have this, that it's mild. But I like it pretty hot myself. Not like burning your face off hot, but... All right, let's see. Yeah, the pizza cutter tip is awesome. That's really revolutionized things for us. It really works great for pancakes.
Do you like waffles? Yeah, we like waffles.
So, Jack, anything good happen at school today? Tell them about your test.
Oh, somehow I got a 10 out of 9.
He got a 10 out of 9 on a math test, right?
Yeah.
I need to look a little closer. I'm thinking that the teacher saw something in this answer that looked spectacular. So. Hey, Jane, that's a good idea. Jane says bacon can go in cheese quesadillas. Oh, that would be spectacular. Actually, when it's only cheese, then it's kind of like a cheese sandwich. So anything that might work in a cheese sandwich would work. Because on cheese sandwiches, I'll tend to put a little garlic on both sides. I like spice more than the rest of the family. Yeah, Sandra, I want Mexican now too, and I'm already starting to be able to smell the enchiladas. Ooh, homemade fried rice. Phyllis made homemade fried rice. Cat Lover said we had Mexican night tonight too. Yeah, the quesadillas are really easy, and Tara will make them frequently when she has 10 minutes to cook something. She can just throw it together for us fast and be done. And it's like one pan. She usually butters it in her hand, and we put it on paper plates. And I know a lot of people don't like paper plates, but the thing is, if the option is go out to eat somewhere and spend a fortune, or put it on paper plates so you don't have to do dishes, we choose the paper plates. So, yeah, Hope Floats always says my daughter eats these all the time, at least 3 times a week. The cool thing about these is, because you cook each one individually, you can leave off things or add things for people. So Tara and I usually doctor ours a lot, and they're super delish. Oh, Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. Well, I was going to see if Matt could come over because Tara's not on the show. And I was thinking, what am I going to do? Dave is sick, and I think Tara might be back next week in the middle of the week, though. So, wow, I still don't see any comments on Facebook either. I was going to see if there were any questions or anything. Let me take a quick look here. And I realize I say a lot more when I'm the only person on the camera. Hi, Susie. Making your favorite things. Oh, yay. These are my favorite things, too. Oh, I see all the thumbs ups. That's awesome, guys. Andrea. Ooh, you're making crawfish enchiladas? Ooh. Man, I have a lot of family down there that would love that. I'm not too sure I'm that fond of the crawfish. Sorry. But we did get your thing in the mail today. I don't know where it went, but thank you so much. Andrea sent us a dirty rice mix because I was talking about having a craving for dirty rice. It says cook with any meat you want, and some of the meats that they often put in those I'm not that excited about, but sausage. I was thinking about doing that with sausage. So try putting some tomatoes and olives. Yes. Actually, if I was making these for us, I would probably put olives, really anything that we have on hand that seems Mexican-like. Wow, I should try it since Jack's gone. I'm going to take a bite out of this one. Oh, man. Those are better than I remember. Patricia says, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Yes, Patricia. Especially, I forgot it was a 3-day holiday weekend, and I'm really glad. Cuties are clementines, Tammy says. And another Tammy says, I like halos. I was wondering what the difference is with the halos. Oh, it's the apron. This apron came from Darren, a viewer that is on Facebook sometimes in London. When Ellie and I were over there in April, we went and visited with him, and he sent this apron for Tara. So, yeah. Oh, Debbie, a super chat on YouTube is you can donate something when if you can make a chat and it doesn't cost anything. But if you want, you can make a chat and donate something, and then it highlights the comment in a color, and it stays on the screen for a while. And that's more or less just to encourage people. Well, it's 2 things. It's if you really like somebody but you don't know how to support them, you can do that. Or because it highlights it so boldly, if you don't see somebody's comments on a show, if you put a super chat in, it makes it hard to miss. Because it's, well, I can't really show you. I was going to say I could try to show you, but it basically just makes it really big. And if you look on YouTube, I think everyone else might be able to see it, but there's a big block that's orange. So that was awesome. And Dave has been, we haven't really pushed talking about Super Chat very much, but Dave has mentioned it. And it's funny because people they'll give like $2 or $5 or whatever on Super Chat. And Dave will just start doing all kinds of crazy stuff because of it. So last week on Wednesday, he ate something he never would have tried because of that. And Bandana Grandma pledged to chat and then asked him to try it. And then after he tried it, she did another super chat saying he tried it and he liked it. So I'm keeping an eye out. I guess I've got my timer there. So let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, Jamie says, I recently found my hives are worse when I eat anything containing corn, which is in everything. Yeah, corn just doesn't like me like it used to. So I'm a little more relaxed today than the other days. But I do realize I try to keep talking more than Tara. In the UK, you had a bank holiday last weekend. So last weekend in August, what bank holiday is that in the UK? Because this is Labor Day for us coming up. So June, how do you do a super chat? Down where there's the comment and it says say something, below that there's a little $sign, and if you click that, then you can do a super chat through that. So then it'll say how much do you want to donate and what do you want to say, and then the comment will come up like that other one that you saw there. Let's see. Yay! Thank you everyone who's encouraging people to like the stream. Hi from Belgium. I rarely cook but often watch your guys' show. Good luck to Tara and Elly finding the best house. Thank you, Eliza. So BJ, oh, I didn't tell Tara this. Maybe I shouldn't say it on camera. BJ has a friend in Luxembourg and was asking me if I thought it was okay for him to go there after Christmas. So everybody keep quiet and don't say anything until he actually says it himself. So it might be his opportunity to go somewhere. So right now, if you haven't been following it, Tara and Elly are making a road trip around. It started where we were looking at trying to find another house, because when we moved from Kansas back to Colorado, we had to go from a bigger house with some land. Oh, June, I don't know if that option is on the phone. It is on the desktop, but I never looked on the phone to see if there's super chat on there. But sorry. So we were trying to look for another house here in Colorado, but what we discovered is we would have to triple what we paid off a lot of our mortgage, but we'd have to triple what we have on our mortgage to move into a slightly better house here in Colorado. And we looked for a long time and we said, well, it's pretty here, but traffic-wise, it's just getting to be really much like a big city, and it's hard to live. It's just not very fun with that part of it. When we were living in the mountains, it was a lot easier. So, well, I'll tell him to go during Christmas. You say no, go during Christmas, Andrew, or you are? Because he's going, well, I think he wanted to go right the day after Christmas because flights were cheap and because he wouldn't miss Christmas here at home. So, but they might still have Christmas markets after that, though, don't they? So, anyway, on the house thing, we decided to stop looking, but Tara was still thinking, oh, there's got to be another option, and she just happened to notice that she had seen houses in other states that we could sell this house, and just from the equity in the house, pay for it. So we'd end up having a paid-off house that was bigger with land somewhere else. Or in some places it would be bigger with land and we'd have a mortgage, but it would be the same mortgage we have now, but it would be a much nicer house. So we have a lot of options like that. We were trying to decide because we're not really sure if we want to go. So Tara had seen, it seemed like Tennessee and Pennsylvania were places that looked really appealing to us. But I said to Tara, Tennessee, everyone I've met from there has been really nice, and I just kind of passed through once and I had a really good impression of it, but I told her I think it's going to be hot and humid. And for her, she really needs cool and fairly dry. So, I mean, a little bit of humid is okay if it's cool, so like Ireland would be fine. But when it's humid and hot frequently, that's a big problem for her. So they decided to go in August, because August is the hottest month, just to see what it was like. And they did find that Tennessee was probably hot and humid enough that Tara would be sick a lot. So we probably won't go there, even though it was really beautiful and the people were nice. Then they went and visited family in New Jersey, and Elly had, before they did the New Jersey, Elly said, I'd really like to go to New York, and we're going to be 2 hours away from there. I just want to see it. She didn't want to stay for a long time, but she just was curious. So They called our family in New Jersey, and they were able to spend some time with them and go into the city, and I think Ellie really loved it. I shared some pictures the other day, but Ellie had some selfies I didn't share where she makes these strange faces and has a shot getting stuff behind her. It's pretty awesome. But now they're in Pennsylvania, and if you know who Bandana Grandma is, she's on here a lot. They met Bandana Grandma in Pennsylvania. She actually came to Pennsylvania to meet them, and they did a live stream earlier today. So after the show, if you have time, you might go see what that live stream was like. I actually missed it myself. They just called me to say, "Oh, it's showing your night show," as the description. And I walked them through that, but I was picking up Jack from school, so I didn't have time to watch. So let's see. So if the people that are wondering, Tara is in Pennsylvania now. I think she's in Lancaster. They're staying in an Airbnb on the west side of Lancaster, and she said, it was my dream house. She said, I asked the guy, is it for sale? And he said that he probably gets that question once a month from people that stay there. But she really likes that area right now, and they're tired, so they're probably going to stay a few extra days and just try to rest. It'll be cooler when she comes through Illinois and Wisconsin next week. Yeah, I know Illinois would be too hot and humid. Wisconsin, we like Wisconsin, but I'm not sure. We have some friends that live there and family, and it seems like it's nice. I'm just not sure how that will work out with Tara. It's mostly, the reason why we're so sensitive about the hot and humid in the summer is when I first married Tara, we moved back to Texas, where I grew up and went to school, because I was going to try to connect with some of my friends from college to do some film work, which is what I went to school for. But the whole 6 months that we were there, Tara was sick. She was sick virtually every day and almost couldn't get out of bed at all. And it was kind of a frightening experience for me to say, wow, I didn't understand she's really sick like this. She already had some experience with it, so she just knew I'm sick. And for me, I was thinking, wow, is there something we can do? And that's why we moved to Idaho. So somebody was asking, does Ellie work or is headed back to school? Ellie is not heading to school. She graduated and has some college credit that she had while she was in high school, but she doesn't think she wants to do something that requires college. She has had several jobs, and recently she started one and then quit it fairly quickly because it was a receptionist at a place that's really busy, and she didn't understand she could take breaks because the way they worked. It was a skydiving place, and so a lot of people didn't take breaks. They're smokers, so they would go out and smoke for 5 minutes and come back, and so she thought since they didn't take regular breaks, she couldn't either. But it was her and a computer, and that was all. And I don't know if you guys have seen, Amy, I'm going to answer your question in just a second. Those of you who have seen Ellie occasionally on the show might know that she really likes parkour, which is like adult gymnastics kind of. That's kind of understating it. It's running and jumping and climbing over things. You kind of have a path where you're going from here to there, and you have to vault your way over things and go under things. And so when Ellie and I were in Ireland in April, I knew she was doing parkour, but I was surprised one day when there was a really long arm, like handhold, a railing, and she just jumped up on it and was walking across it. And I thought, wow. And she was a little shy, but all these other girls were stopping, and we were at a park in Kinsale, Ireland.
Wow.
And she was a little shy if other people were looking, but I said, they're looking at you thinking, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So she really is physical about her jobs, and the receptionist at the skydiving place was her alone with the computer all day long. But it was really busy, so she was constantly typing in things. So she quit that and is looking for something a little more active. She has some specific things in mind, and she's done coffee before, and that's one of the things that she's looking at as well. So, but she also has a really big desire to do something where she's self-employed. I think because she sees us doing that, and she feels like she really likes that kind of a work environment.
She should teach people #parkour.
Yeah, and since this year, she's been with me to Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, that whole area. And then she's been to Minnesota with us when we went to BJ's thing, and we took little side trips.
And she's on a road trip
Wisconsin. Now she's on the 14-day road trip with Tara, and I think she's kind of testing out what it would be like to be a travel blogger or travel video blogger.
Travel vlogger.
Which is,
Vlog.
if you do it right, you can actually make a business out of it. But it's you have to know how to approach that sort of business to make it work. But I think she might. So when she gets back, she'll probably get a regular job, but she's also working on the travel stuff. Amy T is asking, is BJ's friend just a friend or a girlfriend? Okay, so you didn't hear it from me. He says she's a friend, and she says he's a friend, but there are things there that seem to indicate that it's bigger than that. She's been home in Luxembourg for a couple of years, but anytime she comes out here, he'll drive 40 miles to the airport to pick her up, and she'll do the same kind of, well, she'll go out of her way in those kinds of ways. When he was living in Kansas doing his college thing out there, she drove out halfway to Kansas. She was going to drive all the way to Kansas, but her parents weren't too excited about that. So she drove halfway to Kansas, and then he picked her up, and they went back. And David, Tara's brother, he has a bunch of extra rooms at his house, so she got a room there for herself. And so they say they're just friends. There's a lot of really nice things about them that seem like they really care on a deeper level. So
I'm gonna start snacking.
So you didn't hear that from me. I'm just guessing.
You heard that from a source.
It came from an undisclosed source. Yeah. And as far as the thing about Ellie working, Emily, because somebody said something about the business went out of business. Actually, that was Emily's job. So it's a little confusing with Emily and Ellie, especially since they're the same age. Ellie is our birth daughter, and Emily is my niece, who we adopted. But they're a month apart in age, and they both have E names, so it's easy to confuse them. But Emily, she had a job at a health food store that went out of business, but she got a job at another health food store, Natural Grocers. But her college was kind of overwhelming, so I think she cut that. She was planning to cut it. I think she was going to. I'm pretty sure she did, but she was really struggling with kind of switching to college.
Good stuff, man.
So, thanks.
No, I mean.
Oh, you made it.
This is mine.
So anyway, so I think Emily's going to be mostly focusing on the college. She was super student in high school, and I think going into college, it's a totally different game, and I think it was slightly overwhelming to her. Well, it was a lot overwhelming to her that she couldn't be perfect.
Going from playing Minesweeper
in the first semester. Yeah. So let's see. Luxembourg is nice, but not particularly lively. Yeah. Well, actually, I forgot. So she lives in Luxembourg, but she's going to school in the Netherlands. So I don't know where they would go if they were going to go do something like that. But I know we were all kind of a little nervous about the fact he has to fly into Germany, just because it appears from what we see in the media that it's a little bit unstable there in terms of how safe it is at this point. But I figure that's still a small number of people, so he'd probably be okay. Oh, yeah. No, Jamie says I can't see any smoke from the house yet, but I think the enchiladas need to come out. Yeah, so it's got about 2.5 minutes on the timer. The thing about the enchiladas is that I've gotten them out in less time, and I've also let them go longer, and they seem to do okay because they're covered. So the slow cooking it is good. So I'll get it out in a few more minutes, and we'll take a look. Amy says, good to see you eating, Dave. Yeah, wait a minute. What happened to I'm feeling so bad I can't eat anything?
Well, I found this in my bed.
I totally spaced it. You found it in your bed.
A room.
Yeah, it was down between the sidewall and the mattress.
Secret. I made like 2 dozen of these yesterday and hid them in my room, so.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's a bomb. That's a bomb. This one and this one's safe.
I got your back, Jamie. Okay, so I'm looking here, see what other comments we have or questions. Oh, based on what Jill says, I can't see all the comments on Facebook, but if you're asking, the enchiladas, I put cheese and onions, and then I poured the sauce over it. And I usually make Tara's homemade sauce, but I was not feeling great today, so I just got some Old El Paso sauce, which is quite passable. It's really good. And I poured that over the top, and it's been baking for almost 40 minutes at 400. In fact, so Annette, everything is made, but we're waiting for the enchiladas, and you came just in time to see me pull them out of the oven. So that'll be the moment of truth. I'm going to share the recipe again right here in the comments for the for the enchiladas, and if YouTube will let me, I will also share the one for the quesadillas. This is the link to our website where the recipe is. And if you have the Dining on a Dime cookbook, this actually it could be in, I think it's on all the versions of the same page. Page 216 is where the enchiladas are, and 217 is the quesadillas. So I am also going to share the, did I put that in both of these?
Found a 3.
I didn't put the quesadillas in Facebook. Okay, so we're about to hear the beep from the oven thing too. Uh-oh, what are you afraid of, Jill? So, I'm also going to share, if you don't have a copy of Dining on a Dime and you like it, this is our cookbook that, can you stop the timer, Dave? This is our cookbook that we often cook out of on the show, and a lot of the people in the comments have it. We really love it. A lot of people really love it. So if you want to check it out, there's a link to it.
We love it more than those other people.
Netherlands may be a bit too much fun. Yeah, thankfully, neither of them is the kind for the too much fun in the Netherlands. So I think that would be good. Toby's asking, have all the hidden ones been found on the road trip? Earlier today, Tara said that Tracy, yes, we do send the cookbooks to the UK. The shipping is somewhat pricey. I think it's $15 or $20. If you add it to the cart, it will tell you how much the shipping is. But we will send them to the UK, yes, so no problem. Toby asking about, so Tara and Jill are on their road trip. They're leaving a copy of, they're putting a copy of Dining on a Dime in a Ziploc bag with a note saying, take a selfie of yourself and send it back and keep the book, and seeing who it is that finds them. And they have videos on our channel showing places, just something to give you a hint, so it makes it fairly easy if you go to the location to find the book. And a lot of them have been found, and it's been really cool. But earlier today, she said that there's one in New York. They only were able to put one in New York City that has nobody's responded, so we assume it hasn't been found yet. So if you are in New York and you want to go look for that video and find that one. And they just today put one in Pennsylvania. And when the show started, at that time, no one had found it yet. So those two are definitely still out there.
There's a 7 and a 6 and a 5 on these.
Whoa. Hey, wait a minute.
So,
there you are doing tech games on there.
But
boy! So I just pulled the enchiladas out. Woo!
I'll go then.
Wow, they look good, although they've kind of gone together a little bit. So it smells delicious. Let me see if I can put them on a plate so we can take a look. Wait, the teller walked off camera. When I was in television, that would have been like a total freak out moment. Okay. I'm going to find something to put this on that hopefully won't melt. So I did not wash the hot pads from the other day, but we got them dirty. So I'm going to try this. Wow, I've got a big mess going on the counter here. All right. These smell really good. And I love these. And the thing about these that's cool is if they don't turn out perfectly, and I mean if they don't look perfect, sometimes they're hard to get out when you put them in a bread pan. That's why I usually cook them in this square cake pan, but I just didn't want to make that many today. So whoa. Oops, it kind of fell apart a little bit. So if they fall apart a little, no hurt, it still tastes amazing. So this is what it looks like coming right out. But usually just to make it pretty, I rinsed this cilantro earlier, but I'll put some cilantro on. It's really not necessary, but I just like cilantro on there, and it reminds me of Texas, where I grew up. And also, since I have this pico de gallo, I'd probably just put a little on here to make it look pretty. And even though it doesn't quite look like the enchiladas because it's a blop there, this is amazingly tasty. Or at least I say that. Maybe I should try and make sure it actually turned out. So, one thing, if you want them to look super perfect, you can cook them in the other kind of pan. Or what the restaurants do to make sure they look so perfect is they roll them up and they put them on the pan and they put the whole pan in the oven, which is why they say hot plate when they bring it out to you, and then you don't pay attention and you touch the plate anyway, just to see. What's really awesome about these is they taste, whoa, that was hot. Woo, I'm gonna burn myself. They taste just like restaurant enchiladas. And even when I bought the enchilada sauce, a whole batch of these, I could have made more of a batch with the same sauce, but a whole batch of these that normally would feed maybe 4 people. But even when I bought the sauce, it was probably less than $3 for all of it. If we made the sauce homemade, it'd probably be less than that. So it's an inexpensive thing, it tastes amazing, and it's really quick. And usually, if you were here at the beginning of the show, you know, it took me just a couple minutes to roll them and put them in the oven. And then after that, it's just waiting for the oven to finish it. So at that point, you can go clean something or change your clothes after work or whatever. But Tara and I eat these. The boys prefer the quesadillas. So I made the plain cheese quesadillas for Jack earlier. And I will share the recipe one more time for that. So let's see. I will share the... Oh, I already shared the recipe for that. Okay, so cool. Let me see if anyone else has any other questions. I wouldn't be living on a dime if somebody wasn't getting burned. You know, the thing is, Sarah, I almost never get burned. So it must just be because I'm taking Tara's place today. Wow. These are changing in the UP of MI. What is that? Oh, the upper part of Michigan. Is that, I'm assuming, maybe? Gotta wait a second. I know, Mindy, but I just love them so much. 105? Susan, I forgot where you are, but that's really hot. We were close to 90 today, but not too bad. Yeah, they're really, really good. What are cinnamon brooms? Jill, do you remember? I can't remember what those are. Yeah, it is super. This is really, really good. And I don't really have to do this, but I just like to put the little colored stuff on the top just to make it seem more decorative. Oh, hey, that's another thing. If you're cooking and you have guests coming over, I worked in a lot of restaurants, and a lot of the restaurant food is not that much different than the homemade. A lot of it is the same as the homemade food, but it's how they present it. So they'll just put a little something colorful on the top. When we were, actually, let me show you something real quick. When I worked in restaurants, we would make designs on the plate. So we would, if you go get a pie or a cake at a restaurant, it's usually just something that came in a box that you would buy at the store, but they charge you like $6, $8 a slice. But in reality, it's like a Marie Callender's pie. So what we used to do to make it look fancier is we would take something like, put chocolate syrup in a spiral like that, and then we would take a knife and we would draw out from the center or some other sort of thing, And then we could come up with other patterns too, but then we'd stick a piece of cheesecake on there and then put a little whipped cream on it, and it looked really good, but it was the same cheesecake. And the reason I tell you that, this doesn't look impressive by itself, but that was kind of what we did. It looks great when you put the cheesecake on it. But the reason I mentioned that is sometimes just putting a little garnish of some sort on there will make it look more professional. So, for what it's worth. So let's see. Freeze warning, yikes. Yeah, let me see what else we have here. Any other comments or questions? I'm still not seeing the ones on Facebook. Oh, thank you for the likes and loves, everybody. I really appreciate that. Probably going to wrap it here in just a sec, but I just want to make sure nobody had any other questions. Honestly, with Tara being gone, if there's anything you want to ask me that I might not have time to say normally, these shows would be great. Oh, what else can you put in them? In the enchiladas, Patricia? So I put cheese and onions, which is my favorite. But you can, if you have leftover chicken or roast, you can put that in and it's really, really good. You could put hamburger in. I have never tried that. We have occasionally put beans in them. Black olives are really, really good. Oh, Tara likes to put black olives and then sour cream. And then she'll put a little sour cream on top too, and that's really good. They're very flexible, so if you've heard about it at a restaurant or seen somebody do something with enchiladas, you can add that to this recipe and it should be fine. So actually the sour cream ones are really good. If you put sour cream and cheese and chicken, oh, wonderful. And it's an awesome way to use leftovers. And the enchiladas are so easy to make. So, and Susie says you can layer them. Yeah, actually, I think we have a recipe for that in the cookbook, stacked enchiladas. And Tara, the way, they're really easy. Let me see if the recipe's in here. Enchiladas. Stacked, 193. So it says they're on page 193. Let me just make sure that's right. We don't find many errors anymore, but... Ah, yep. So stacked enchiladas on page 193 in Dining on a Dime. I don't have the link at the moment, but I think it's on the website too. And the way the stacked enchiladas work, this is really good for a family because they're, I think you dip it in a little oil just to soften the tortilla. You put a corn tortilla down, then you put a layer of meat and a layer of cheese. And if you want to put anything else in there, you put those layers. Then you put another tortilla, and then you put some more of the layers. So if it's like a kid, you can just give them one layer. But if it's an older person, sometimes it's nice to stack them 2 or 3 high, and it's more like an enchilada casserole. Which, the way mine are kind of merged together here, it almost looks more like a casserole. But the stacked enchiladas are really good, and they're easy to adjust. So like the quesadilla that I mentioned, you can make one, you can slightly adjust them if each person has a slightly different taste. Not so much with the rolled enchiladas, but with the stacked enchiladas you can. So you can leave out things that certain people don't like. And again, they're great ways to use leftovers. Roast beef is excellent on them, like from a slow cooked roast. Or you probably could put, yeah, I'm sure you could put roast pork on there if you wanted. I've never had them that way. Chicken, we've done it with chicken. So let's see, looks yummy. Yes, that is super yummy. And I love cilantro too, Mary Alice. That's funny because in Texas, growing up, that was a flavor that we had, and I didn't realize after I left for a couple years.
You know what my donut cup is?
Your donut cup. Oh, it was over there.
I'm choking, so I need some.
You must have taken it with your drink. Actually, I forgot the donut cup. For those of you who are asking, somebody asked at the end of the show about Dave's donut cup, and I pasted a link to it, but somebody missed it. And if you happen to be here today, I'm going to paste that link in again to where you can get that donut cup at Amazon. Dave really loves it, and he had one that broke, and we had to find him another one, and here it is. If he finds it, maybe he'll come show it to you on the show. But anyway, if you wanted to, if you were one of the people that was looking for this donut mug, this is where it is. So I'm going to see what else we have here.
It's not working.
Tina says, oh, it went in. Oh, it didn't? Again?
No.
I don't know. YouTube isn't taking that link, and they kind of... YouTube gives us more trouble with the links than there. No, still blocked it. Okay. Well, it's on the Facebook side. So if you didn't get it and you don't see it on the Facebook side, you can go to our contact page, livingondime.com, click contact, and email me, and I will send you that link. So, all right. Tina says, hope y'all are feeling better. Yes. Well, Dave is not, but I took some of that colostrum that Tara keeps talking about, and I was feeling it yesterday, and now I'm not. So I'm hoping that I don't get it. So, yeah. Some of the comments are coming through now. Well, I guess I will go ahead and sign off for today. I don't see any new questions.
I told you Dave was going to be here for the last like 5 minutes. So.
Yay. Yeah, Dave just wanted to come so... Dave just wanted to come so he could get me to go play video games with him.
Yeah,
all right.
on, Dad.
Oh, Meme says, bought the e-course on grocery savings. Love it, and my cookbook. Thank you. I'm glad. Yeah, the e-course was fun making. I'll probably put.
Wait, we got 2 super chats? Oh no, that was just Diana still.
Yeah. So let me grab a screenshot of that so I remember. I'm keeping track of the super chats. I'm just keeping track of the super chats because I assume that that's largely meant to be for Dave. So, all right.
Oh, are you paying me for that?
Maybe. All right.
Guys, keep super chatting so I can get a bunch of money.
Jill says her favorite on the enchiladas is just sour cream and cheese. Yeah, that is really good. Hey, Jill, Jill doesn't like onions. It's funny to see her testing them. She's like, I'm sorry, Nan, I had to do that. So, Candace is asking, what about avocados? Nan, can you put avocados in them? If it were me, I would probably make them. And then after I take it out, I would probably put the avocados on top. Or if you want to make it into guacamole, we have a guacamole recipe too. And that's really easy. You just put the avocados in.
That tickles.
I think it's garlic and salt and something else, and you just mash it together. So you could do either one of those. I think you would cook it and then put that on top. Jill, if I'm wrong, say so. So let's see. Looks like that's it. I might wait just a second to see if Jill responds on avocados. Noah's Ark says, put ice on your tongue. Oh, I wonder if that's for me or for you. Put ice on your tongue, Dave. Sometimes people call me Dave, so I'm confused. Yeah, Brianna says, that looks so good, but no way I'm turning on the oven today. 110 on the California coast. You know what? When it cools off, go ahead and try them. I was thinking the same thing. I thought, it's going to be 90 degrees today, and I'm making something at 400 in the oven. But
whilst the AC is running,
I'm no common sense. Yeah, I know.
Come on, mister.
See, Dad has no common sense. Oh, you know what, though? An extra 2 hours of AC is cheaper than going to a restaurant. That's my excuse. Did I learn a lot of tips from the... Oh, so the restaurant I worked at in Estes wasn't a Mexican restaurant, but I would love to have worked at one. But I did learn a lot of things from working at restaurants. The first one I worked at in Estes Park was the Dark Horse, which is no longer there. But it was super, super fancy, high-end stuff. So we would have, as wait staff, maybe 3 or 4 tables a night. But we had to be super precise about getting everything perfect, which was really my thing at the time. And like if somebody ordered a bottle of wine, we had to do the whole fancy thing where they smell the cork, and then we give it to them in the glass, and they check the glass, and then they tell you.
What's wrong with it?
There were a lot of things we learned at that one especially. But yeah, I learned a lot at restaurants that were really helpful, and it made it easier for me to understand that recipes are good, but once you get a sense for a particular thing like the enchiladas, I don't really look in the book as I make them. And yeah, you can warm it up. I'd probably put it in 10, 12 seconds. So yeah, that was really helpful. And actually, it's unfortunate the restaurant's been sold since then, but there was a restaurant when Tara and I were dating that was, my friends had bought it and were making it into a cowboy themed restaurant. And so we were painting little brands on all the windowsills. And I made a TJ brand, and I had a MT brand, and I was painting brands that were us.
Related to their relationship.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right, let's hit
If you ask any questions on Facebook and we didn't answer, sorry. I'm still not sure that we're seeing them all. But everyone have an awesome night.
We need to play some StarCraft.
We're going to go eat and probably play some video games.
StarCraft.
Minecraft.
All day.
Minecraft and StarCraft. when BJ gets home, David and BJ and I like to play together, which is awesome. And yeah, oven off.
Thank you, Jamie.
You heard our air conditioner running, didn't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and sign off now. Jack, can you say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us. I think we still have at least a couple shows before Tara
No.
comes back next week.
You're Dave. I'm Jack.
Did I call him Dave? Oh.
No,
You confused me,
you called
bud.
him Jack, but I'm Jack and he's Dave.
Thank you, Chavella. I will tell Dave. Chavella hopes you get well soon. All right.
Thank you.
So I'm
I
gonna
hope so too.
see if we can figure out how to deactivate here now. Oh, and after we get off, if you have time, go back on our channel, youtube.com/living on a dime, and watch the thing that Tara and Bandana Grandma did live. I'm gonna do it. I'm excited to see it. So anyway, see you later. Have an awesome 3-day weekend, and we will be doing a show on Monday. So if you're home and you want to watch, please join us. We'd appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.